the chief exec of a company called Wondrwall. Give you a bit of background on Wondrwall. Wondrwall are a consumer electronics company who design and manufacture hardware. We develop software and we develop AI platform to create intelligent homes. I'm just having a bit of an issue with your screen. Ah, there we go. So here we go. No problem. So we started out in 2015. We looked at all this smart home technology available on the market. And the problem that we found is that a lot of these companies had done certain parts of the smart home solution. There's people that have done heating systems, lighting systems, security systems, voice control, music. None of it really talked to each other, and it was all focused around connecting the mobile to different applications around the home. To be honest, I didn't find that intelligent. My vision of a home, it should be able to control itself, so you don't have to worry about it. So we did a big deep dive into a lot of different types of technology. One of them was autonomous vehicles. How do autonomous vehicles drive themselves? What they do is they collect a lot of sensory data. They use deep learning to learn from that data, giving that car the ability to drive. So in essence, what we did at Wondrwall, we took that philosophy and put it into a home. But one of the things that we didn't want to do is we didn't want to start adding lots of different bits of plastic sensors into a home. So we looked at what was already in the home, and one of the most obvious things for ourselves, which was in every room, was a light switch. So what we did at Wondrwall, we took a light switch and we made the most advanced light switch in the world. So this is a Wondrwall light switch, but within this device, we have 13 different sensors. So we have heat sensors, humidity sensors, luminosity sensors, power sensors, motion sensors, speakers, microphones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, all running its own Linux operating system. But if you can imagine in your home, taking your old light switch off the wall, putting a Wondrwall light switch on your wall, what you do on average is put about 130 sensors within a home. And what that does, it actually learns about how people live and behave within their home. So not just understanding when you go to work and when you come home, but really understanding how you use your home. Understanding sleeping patterns, habitational patterns, understanding how that home performs. So how every room heats up, how it cools down, the humidity, the luminosity, and actually the thermal model of that building. When we send that data up into the cloud, we have machine learning and predictive models constantly learning from that data. That was the foundations of all of our technology, because if we could understand how you use your home, then the home has the ability to control itself. We started out controlling heating and lighting because it was the most obvious thing to save the consumer money. So if you lived in a Wondrwall home and you go to work at, say, 7 o'clock, well, the home knows what time you go to work. So what it would do is turn the heating off at 6:45 because it knows it will stay at your ideal temperature before you walk out the door. If you walk out the door and you've left any lights on, well, the home knows you've gone to work, so it turns all the lights off for you. If you've left the bedroom window open, it will drop you a message saying left the bedroom window open. But also, if you forget to put your alarm on, it will put your alarm on for you. But also, if you go for a few drinks after work, well, the home knows that you're not coming home, so it's not going to turn the heating on. It will work out when you are coming home, work out how long it will take the home to heat up, and only turn the heating on when you are coming home. So fundamentally, the home is not going to waste energy. It's going to not turn any energy on unless you're at home. Then we built a security system. Now, we have 2 motion sensors in every single light switch of the home. So in a standard home, we'll probably have 20 motion sensors all the way around the home, which is a really sensory-based alarm system. Most alarm systems may have like 3 or 4 PARs. But one of the things that we wanted to do at Wondrwall, we wanted to catch burglars on the outside of their house before they got in. If you can imagine a burglar would smash a window, get into a home, it'd only trigger a sensor once he's actually in the home. But once he's in the home, he's going to do whatever he wants to do anyway. So what we did is we got the light switches to listen for 2 sounds, and one of them is a window smashing. So if a window smashes in a Wondrwall home, the home would automatically sound the burglar alarm. It would start flashing the internal and external lights of the home. It would also record what's actually gone on the center of your phone. So if you can imagine, window goes in, boom, the whole house goes crazy, it's going to run off. On top of that, we've got a lot of security features. For instance, if you go out for dinner on a Saturday night, well, the home knows you're away, so what it would do is turn certain lights on the home to look like it's occupied. Also, a lot of people don't put an alarm on because their pets cause their alarm to go off. So you can zone in the aspect of the alarm system by actually turning the sensor off in the kitchen where the dogs are, and everywhere else will still be armed. We also have some safety features. So we have a key fob which arms and disarms the alarm system. It also acts as a panic button. So if you're home alone and something happens, you can press the panic button and it'll alert everybody on your address book. There was also some research done where young children don't wake up to the sound of a smoke alarm because the frequency emits. So what we did at Wondrwall is we got the light switches to listen for the sound of a smoke alarm. And if a smoke alarm goes off in the home and you're in bed, it picks up on that sound and starts flashing all the internal lights. We're also a technology partner of Amazon's. We're the first people in Europe to put Amazon's voice technology into our own hardware. So every light switch in the home is an Amazon Alexa device. So it allows you to control the whole home via voice just by talking to a light switch. So you can order Uber taxis, pizzas, and play music through your light switches. We also got a call from a company over in America called Sonos. Sonos are a music company, and they gave us a call a couple of years ago and said, look, we love what you do in the UK. Can you integrate Sonos into the Wondrwall system? So we're one of the only partners globally to fully integrate with Sonos. So you can say to your light switch, play Michael Jackson out my living room speaker, and it'll be fully integrated. So that's what we started off as a business, a home automation business based on intelligence. And this video will give you a bit of an understanding of what that actually looks like from a Wondrwall home.
What's my diary for today?
You have a 10 a.m. meeting.
How's the traffic today?
The traffic is moderate. The journey will take 29 minutes.
How far is my cab away?
Your taxi is 1 minute away.
Music off.
But you're a beautiful time. Send home to sleep, bird.
Now, we started deploying that technology to the market in 2018, but then we realized quite quickly that we had a bigger challenge. The biggest challenge that we face by humanity is the climate change. How do we tackle climate change? And this was our next focus for the business. From an environmental perspective, each house emits 4.5 tons of CO2 every year into the atmosphere. But at the end of the day, what the government is on the agenda is to be net zero by 2050. We need to retrofit 30 million homes to a net zero standard by 2050. And the current technology has a poor return on investment. And also, there's a big issue with fuel poverty. 10.9% of the population live in fuel poverty. Electricity bills are only going up. They plan to double over the next 10 years. So we sat down with my technical team and said, right, okay, let's look at this and look at how we solve this. So as a company, we went out to develop heating solutions. So we developed 2 types of heating solution. One is infrared heating. The next is underfloor electric heating. We integrated these into the home, but using the intelligence within the home, controlling them a lot better. So Each room you can schedule from a heating perspective. You can control them from your mobile. But also what we have the ability to do is actually understand what you're going to do within the home and actually heat the home differently. In the morning, if you wake up in the morning and you go from your bedroom to your bathroom, you have a shower, you get ready and you walk out the front door. Well, instead of heating up a whole home, we're going to heat up the rooms you actually spend time in. So just being really efficient with actually how you're going to heat the home. The next step was to develop a hot water cylinder. The problem with hot water cylinders is they heat up 200 liters of water, and they're quite energy sapping. So what we developed was a hot water cylinder, which actually learns about how much water you're going to use within the home. And if you only have a shower in the morning and use 30 liters of water, the cylinder will only heat up 30 liters of water. So that was an all-electric solution, which was a home automation system, heating, and hot water. The next stage of development was to create net zero homes. We believe the future is actually a home should be sustainable. It should create its own energy, store its own energy, and use its own energy. So we developed some battery technology with one of the biggest battery companies in the world, a 6.5 kilowatt residential battery, inverter, and then we put solar on the roof. So what you have then is a home that creates its own energy, stores its own energy, and then the home intelligently decides what to do with that energy. For instance, my home this evening will download the weather data for tomorrow. It will calculate how much energy my solar is going to generate. And then if it needs to top up the battery, what it's going to do, it's going to download a time of use tariff from the energy companies. What that means is that the government forced the energy companies to give customers the ability to buy energy every 30 minutes through the day. So there's 48 different tariffs all the way through the day tracking wholesale costs. So the home will work out the most optimum time to take energy off the grid. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when energy is at 2 pence a kilowatt, we're going to charge our battery up. And then we're going to wait for the consumer to get home and then use that energy out of the battery and not take energy off the grid. So in essence, you're going to create a home that's completely self-sustainable, reducing energy bills, and actually dealing with things like fuel poverty. On top of this, this is a case study we did for Manchester City Council. Manchester City Council, this was a development just around the corner in West Gorton.
To retrofit all our homes, ensure that our new build homes are going to be zero carbon by 2038, it means that we really have to start doing things right now. That's why I'm really pleased to be at this development in West Gorton, where they're using smart technology to make the home low carbon and deal with some of the challenges that we're going to be facing in the future so that we can get homes down to zero carbon. What ultimately it will mean for the residents living in this home is that they'll have a saving on their energy bills, which really means that residents will feel it in their pocket and benefit financially from these changes.
I think zero carbon and supporting councils on that journey towards zero carbon is perhaps one of the most important things in the construction sector at the moment. What we're seeing is councils across the board declaring a climate crisis. But those councils have a blank piece of paper in terms of how they can deliver new build homes to the zero and low carbon standards that they need to achieve. This particular home that we're standing in today, what we've done is we've taken a standard built property, we've upgraded the insulation of the home, so it's a really high thermally performing home, and then we've worked with Wondrwall to implement the Wondrwall energy system. So that's dual aspect solar PV, we've got the battery storage, and then we've got the home automation system, which intelligently controls the home, so you've got a thermally efficient, smart home.
The light switch is the most advanced light switch in the world. It has 13 sensors in it. So what it does, it collects a lot of data within the home, learns how people live and behave, and then the home controls itself. But also a home that creates very, very little energy bill, which obviously deals with things like fuel poverty and dealing with people that can't afford energy bills. Well, we have to do it. We're in a global crisis at the moment with climate control. We have to make a change, and that change has to happen now.
So that technology was launched to the market in February. We're going to accelerate the rollout of that technology. In the coming months, we'll offer a cost-neutral solution to develop this technology, to deploy this technology. What that means is that we will fund the assets over 15 years, and then what will actually happen is the energy savings will actually pay for them assets. So it's a way of delivering technology, net zero technology, to the market at a cost-neutral basis. This is obviously what it means for the business. So that just gives you an overview of who Wondrwall are.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So I just have a couple of questions. Yeah, take a seat. Why not? Why not? Rest our legs. Well, one of my questions actually was going to be about what are you doing with Manchester, but you kind of answered that quite nicely with one of your videos that came up there. But I was just going to ask you maybe about the 2038 ambition for Manchester, and how realistic is that, and how much more involvement are you going to be having in that?
We have a lot of involvement in it. We're working. The biggest issue that we face is not new homes. New homes, we can get to a net zero perspective. What we face is actually the retrofit. How do we retrofit social housing houses? Because in the end of the day, they're the ones that are leaking energy. They're old homes. They're not very well insulated. That is the big challenge that we face. And we're working on quite large retrofit programs at the moment, where what we would do is we will go into a home, we'll take out gas, we'll rewire, we will fit a Wondrwall net zero solution, and then fund it over 15 years. And obviously the energy savings can actually pay for it. So it's a way of housing associations and councils to be able to deploy this technology at a rate where no one has to pay for it, if you will.
Yeah. Is there any sort of major competitors out there at the moment doing what you're doing? Is there anyone that's kind of causing, any threats in any way?
At the end of the day, there's always going to be competitors in the market. Lucky enough for Wondrwall is that we have a complete solution. Wondrwall is a complete net zero energy solution. So the companies out there that do batteries, there's companies out there that do solar, there's companies out there that do home automation. Where Wondrwall is completely different globally is that we offer a complete net zero solution.
Fantastic. Okay, a question just come in here. How are the energy companies reacting to this kind of technology?
Energy companies are not obviously going to like us very much, because at the end of the day, we're taking an energy bill of £1,300 down to probably £0 to £100, because there's a standing charge on your energy bills. But at the end of the day, the future for energy companies doesn't look great. You can see from all of the energy companies like Shell and people like that, they're already investing in companies like this. We have a competitor called Solon, which is a German battery company. Shell bought them quite recently. So they are looking at this type of technology, and they're looking at actually how do they actually fit into this, because energy bills are going to go down. Obviously, that's a revenue that's going to be an issue. And then obviously, will big energy companies exist? Will it just be a case of homes that will create their own energy, store their own energy, and use their own energy? That's where we should be, because that's actually putting the money in the consumer's pocket, not the money in the energy company's pocket.
Absolutely, and I think there's an awful lot of people that would agree with you with that, definitely. So what does the future look like? What's the plan for the next 10, 20 years?
The future looks quite bright for us. At the end of the day, obviously COVID has hit, but off the back of that, it's been very positive for us, because what you find after COVID is that the government, and we work closely with the government, but actually this is going to be a green revolution. So it means actually houses that are built, actually there's a big retrofit program. We're going to focus on the green revolution, which means actually net zero, which actually fits into exactly what Wondrwall are. We're a company that has the technology to deploy now, and we have the partners. We just brought on some partners to be able to deploy it at mass as well.
Oh, fantastic. We run a green economy group at Pro Manchester, and I met with the two chairs of that group just last week, and we were talking about the responsibility to get us to the net zero point, and the point was very well made, and just one that you've just made there, and this is how you're helping people to do it, is that everybody is responsible for making that happen. And it's going to be part of everyday jobs and everyday lives, that everybody is going to be in some way involved in that green technology.
And the problem that we face is that we can't sit around. We can't sit around anymore, because the longer you leave it, the actually more carbon dioxide you're putting into the air, which takes it longer for actually to get that period. So at the end of the day, we have to make big decisions now. We have to do it. And at the end of the day, the government are starting to make their moves. They're putting £1.5 billion into a fund for green energy, for green products, if you will. But that's just a drop in the ocean. We probably need anywhere up to 75 to 100 billion to actually start retrofitting these homes. So lucky enough with Wondrwall, we can source that funding. We have that funding available. And actually what we can do is we can do it on a cost neutral basis, which is a game changer from our perspective.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, we've actually run out of time.